do my best to help you with it. It can be anything at all. All questions are welcome. And so, does anyone want to get us started? If not, let's talk a little bit about how guidance works. What is guidance? We were talking about that this morning with Samuel and his beautiful question that he asked. But what is guidance? Guidance is a combination of what your soul and your inner being, your soul is your inner being, knows to be true, and a combination of what your conscious mind knows to be true. It's a combination. Your guidance will never ever ask you to do anything that you are not ready for. It might ask you to get ready, but it will not ask you to take action when you're not ready. And that's where the feeling of fear comes in. Fear is an indication that you are not ready for the action that you are contemplating. So what fear tells us is that we need to do something to alleviate the fear. And that something that we have to do in order to alleviate the fear is as simple as having a conversation with ourselves to soothe the fear. That's all. It doesn't necessarily require taking action, but sometimes it can involve action. So the thing that we all need to do is to start understanding how to interpret our guidance system, how to interpret what fear is telling us, how to interpret the messages that are coming through. So because all things are possible, and when we ask, it is always given, you can always have what you want, you can always do what you want. But if you're not ready, then get ready first before you do it. And so that's why we feel fear. Fear tells us that we are not ready. And then if you're feeling fear, then you got to ask yourself the question, why am I feeling fear? What do I have to do for the fear to go away? And deal with the fear and then take action. So guidance can show up in so many ways. So many ways. And the thing about guidance is that the universe never gives up on us. Never, ever, ever does the universe ever say, oh, I'm not guiding you. You never listened to me before, so I'm done guiding you. That never happens. That's not, whether you call it universe, source, or God, never treats us like that. Guidance is always there. What we need to do is to learn how to interpret the guidance. So what happens a lot of times is when people feel fear, instead of saying, what should I do so that the fear goes away? They think that fear means no. Fear means no, I can't do this. Fear means no, I can't have this. Fear means no. And that's never true. So you can take any example out there. A popular example is a boy who wants to ask a girl out on a date and feels fear of rejection. So what's the fear telling him? Fear is telling him to stop feeling that he might be rejected. Right? Deal with the fear, go ask her. Fear is not telling him, don't ever ask her. That's not what fear is telling him. So we've got to understand how to interpret fear. Make sense, you guys? Yeah. So no one can tell you not to be afraid, because fear is a real thing. A lot of times, I see people saying, oh, don't be afraid. Well, no, the fear that someone is feeling is real. They've got to have a way to deal with the fear to make it go away. So to tell someone, oh, don't be silly, there's nothing to be afraid of. No, their fear is real. We do it with our children. When a child is afraid of the dark, we don't say, oh, stupid, find your own way up the stairs into the darkness and go to bed. We help the child. We shine a light under the bed. We open the closet and show them that there's no one hiding there. Right? We find a way to make the fear go away. But we don't do that for ourselves. We are very good at soothing other people and making other people's fear go away. We are not that good at dealing with our own fears. And that is the issue. We've got to, just like we help other people get over their fears, we should also pay attention to our own fears and ask ourselves the question, what do I have to do for this fear to go away? And then do it. Whether it's an actual action or it's a thought that you need to change, whatever that is, change it. And that's how we act on our guidance. All right, guys. Hi, Kareen. Good to see you. Anthony. Yes, Anthony, long time. Absolutely. Jessica, awesome. All right. So there's a couple of people watching on Facebook. Guys on Facebook, if you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat and I will pick it up as we go along. All right. Yes, Kathy, go ahead.
So this isn't specifically about me, except for it's about me because I'm just so happy to be here. But when I was with Melissa, who I've known since 2009, I took with her my Unlimited book. I did my appreciation call with her on the phone with Gay and Nancy, and they all met her. And I shared with her how I was feeling so much better, learning how to think and how to speak, but mostly how to think, with my sons and daughter-in-laws and things like that. And so she has the book, and you know how it takes a while to get sort of a pattern on how to get things incorporated into your lives.
Sure.
And so I'm just hoping that she can ask you a question or talk to you something in that area, because I know that when I show up at Derek and Emma's house, I'm only thinking positive things about them, and somehow or other Emma just jumps up and gives me a hug hello, and it's all new, and it's only because of this is what I've been doing, and it's so helpful. I sent her the link for I Care But Not That Much, that meditation that you have like 30 minutes, and she says she listens to it and she realizes, wow, her day was better. So
I love what you just said, because to me what I heard you say is you never asked them to change.
Right.
You changed.
Right.
And
my thinking changed.
And therefore they changed.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
And I also learned that my thinking is only kind, loving thoughts, and they could feel that, obviously.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what you said. They changed.
They changed. So that's beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. Anthony, love you so much, sweetheart. I'm always here for you. You can always send me a message and ask me a question. I'm always happy to help. Yeah. All right. Melissa, go ahead. Do you have a question? I think you were trying to unmute. So here, you're muted. You're mute there.
Yeah. So I pushed that little red thing and little microphone. It didn't do it. So yeah, what Kathy was saying, it's true. So I am struggling with. There's so much to listen to and look at, or mostly listen to. So I'm reading the book. I'm almost finished, and I also got the the book on tape, so Audible, and a couple others too. And so what she was telling me today, we talked about this, and she said, well, it doesn't really matter if you're in any order, just do it. You know, just go in there and listen to different things. And it definitely helped. Plus, when I talked to you that first time recently, you, just that little thing you said to me about, this is Adam and Emily, and you were, because Kathy and I got on this whole subject because we're kind of living this parallel thing with the brother and the son-in-laws and the daughter-in-laws,
with the kids,
and our kids, and painful, you know. And even now, like I'm trying really hard to stay positive and not be judgmental and not say things and not, you know, boundaries. It's just so hard. My personality is, I just have to be careful and really think things through. And I keep waiting for some changes, but it might take a long time. So we'll you know, it's definitely helpful. And some of the things, so today we went through with Kathy, like, okay, listen to this one, keep on that one. And I just think it's hopeful, you know.
It is helpful.
Even that little bit you said, and like I told her, the things I've been listening to, and kind of joking with my husband about it, because he'll snap me out of it. I'll start to be about whatever, and he's going, where's that positive person? You know, where's that thing you're doing? You know, I'm like, oh, yeah. So it's been kind of fun, and in that regard, just like I stopped and had to think it through, and not try to get them to change, although I really wish they would.
I totally get it. Well, you see, that's when we want other people to change, then we don't have control. We have control only over our own changes, not other people's, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I feel like long time ago, I did some thinking and I arrived at this. Yeah, no problem, Anthony. Hi, Peter, Sarah, good to see you guys. So you guys, if you want to join the Zoom meeting, the link is under the events tab. I was thinking one day, going on a date, and I was thinking about my date, and I was thinking, if he says anything to me that implies that he wants me to change, then I'm going to tell him to take a hike, because that to me feels like you're telling me to get a nose. It's the equivalent to asking me to get a nose job. And how ridiculous is it, and how insulting is it to say to someone, oh, I like you very much, but I don't like your nose. Can you please go and have a nose job, and then I'll be able to love you. Then I'll be able to love you. So if you want someone to change on the inside, it's the equivalent of asking them to change on the outside. And how ridiculous does it sound when you turn it around and you put it that way?
Yeah, no, I feel that with my son-in-law, the change, and it's, you know, it's not, how do I put this? It's kind of noticeable to friends and family and everyone how she has changed, but she's changed because she loves him, and they do things differently now, and how she is. So it's hard sometimes to be like so shocked by how she is with him. Now there's times when she's not with him and she's her old self again. So I just try not to judge either way, because I know it's kind of like the elephant in the room. Everybody kind of knows it, but nobody talks about it. We just kind of go, boy, she's controlled and she's different, but we want to see the grandkids. So it all, you know, kind of do it, but it's just hard. So I'm trying to like just do myself, you know, I still want to enjoy the times I have.
See, now, here's the thing. What I want to say to you is, it sounds to me like when you think about your daughter, what you're really thinking is she should not be changing who she is because of him. And that you don't like that change in her. But if she's happy, then that's the only thing for us to look at. And we all do this. We are all different people in different relationships. The way I treat my mother is not even the way I treat my father. right?
Oh yeah.
In every relationship, we do behave differently. And we say this about the little ones, the toddlers, that they know how to wrap us around their little finger, right? So what is the toddler doing? They learn to deal with each person and how to get what they want out of that relationship. So the bottom line is, if she's happy, then there's nothing for us to be unhappy about, because she's behaving in a manner that makes her relationship work, makes her get what she wants out of the relationship. And that's all. The rest is not our concern.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's hard. You know what makes it hard? Is when someone comes to you and says in confidence, that person is not nice to me. They said this and this and this and this and this. And they treated me like this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
And things are not good. And then they turn around and they become okay with that person. And they leave you, and they leave you holding the bag, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well,
yeah, so
but
I know too much.
Well,
But
yes, no, but here's what you must understand. She has the ability to forgive and forget,
Yes.
and you are not. That's why you're unhappy. She's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many friendships go down the drain because of something like this happening. I mean, that's your daughter you're talking about, but I've seen friendships suffer because a friend comes and tells you something in confidence about another friend, and then your behavior changes with that other friend, and then the two of them go behind your back and they're having a good time, and now you're like, what happened? You guys left me out. Has that ever happened?
Oh yeah, I did it with my. When you're saying it, I'm thinking of one of my best friends growing up was getting divorced, and she's just going on and on and on about her husband. And I made a couple really rude comments about, he looks like a refrigerator or whatever, and just what a bastard he was. You need to get an attorney. Yang 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 yang. And then they got back together, and it was awful. It was awful. So I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe all this stuff she told me, and then we jumped on it. So yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. So what someone is saying to you has nothing to do with you. If they're talking to you about someone else, don't make it, it's not, they might be, so here's what I want you to understand. At the time when they have their talk with you, they might be right here in the pit of the emotional scale. And in the pit of the emotional scale, they can never say anything nice about that other person. They just need to get it out so that they can go back up the emotional scale. And they're using you literally like a sounding board. Just hear me out. Just hear me out so that I can get it all out, and then I'll feel better and I can love them again. But just now I'm angry with them, but I don't want to show them my anger, because if I show them my anger, my relationship will become worse, and I haven't actually decided to walk away from this relationship. So instead of spew my anger out with them, I'm going to spew it out with you, because I know you will hold me and you will still love me. And you will give me the ability so that I can go up the emotional scale and I can love that person again. And I will tell you, Melissa, 100% that is the parent's job. To be the lighthouse in the storm. Come to me, tell me all your problems, and the minute you leave the house, I will forget all about what you told me. I will never hold it against you or anyone else.
Oh man. Yeah. I know. Well, years of this happening a few times, and I've done it every time. It's kind of like, okay. Just trying to keep it together. It's really frustrating.
Well, but the point is that you should not, once they leave the house or you put the phone down, stop thinking about it. Stop trying to figure it out on their behalf.
Okay.
It's not your job. If you keep thinking about it, you're making it worse.
Yeah. Well, at this point, because the last thing that was bad to happen like that, exactly what you're talking about, was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It's been a while. Now it's just a residual, and I don't know. I don't know why he knows that I know, or he knows she talks to me, or I don't know, because we've never discussed it. But the antenna, or the
Yeah.
sensing it,
Yeah.
and the judging him without trying not to, and just, 'cause I still do things and try to help
Yeah.
him and do what, and stay friends. And, I will say he's had a few cocktails. He's okay. But that's still there, I guess. So it's, even though it's been a long time ago, for the most recent, I would say there's this little zingers of stuff that he just does to control or do that I just tolerate and try not to. What you're doing and what you're teaching me helps for sure, because I just kind of
You have to stop seeing it as control.
don't get drawn in. I get drawn into both of them, because there'll be times he'll want to kind of do the same thing. So I just try to no, don't.
It's not your business.
No, and like you said, when you show the pen, they're using you to do this, and I know that's my job, or as a parent, but it's a convenient thing too sometimes. I'm a parent when they want me to be the parent and be there, and other times it's to the curb. And that's what's painful, when you get kicked to the curb, you need me when you want emotional support or all kinds of different support, right? Help with kids, help with money, help with whatever, but then when you just want to be, I don't know, that person or that couple or whatever, it's painful, because
What's painful? What's painful about that? Why is it painful? See,
I guess go ahead.
That's what you need to think about, because it's none of your business. Their relationship is not your business. Isn't it wonderful?
I do agree. And their relationship, I would say, like I said, that the whole part where she drugged me into what's happening was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So now we've got little kids and things, and so it's a combination of being the grandparent and the babysitter and the helper, and their way, yes, that's fine, or just not being included.
Okay, stop,
I think
stop.
what happened is not being included.
Stop. Yeah. What is it that you want them to do differently?
I guess be the way they used to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were more inclusive and more just a normal thing. There wasn't this tension in the room.
Yes, yes. But here's the thing. You're not allowing them to change. You're saying you should always stay the same, the way I like you to be. But everyone can change. Here's the reason why there's tension in the room. Here's the reason. And the reason is because you're still holding on to stuff from the past.
Right. Yeah.
That's why there's tension in the room.
And that's what we talked about, Kathy.
Yeah.
Remember, just okay, that was then, this is now.
Yeah. So people will not be light-hearted with you if they are feeling judged.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. That's why there's tension in the room.
Right, I agree.
Because your vibration is one of, I still remember what you did last summer.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay, so there's definitely times where it's fun. I mean, we had birthday parties, we do different things, and there's definitely good times. Lots of good times now happening more often. And then little things will happen. So I just, even though they're this week or 2 days ago or a little while ago, and I just kind of I just keep moving ahead thinking, I don't know, I'm just trying to let it get better and just be patient.
It will get better. Just hang in there, keep doing the work, and it will get better.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will.
Yes, it will. You're doing fine. your understanding is improving, and that's all you need.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because honestly, it's not like you can walk in and act like, okay, I'm not judging you today, and then everything's going to be fine.
No, it
It's
takes
almost
time.
like in their world, too, they're kind of like, wait, whatever the vibe I was giving off, if it's not there, it's not something I think they trust right away.
Stop. Don't assume what they're thinking. Just concern with yourself with your own thoughts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Akbar, how are you? What time is it in your time zone?
It's 1 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Sweetheart, why don't you ask me your question first? Because I know you'll want to get off the call. So,
Okay. I was gonna ask about my question was about fear of conflict.
okay.
Like I've had a fear of conflict since I was younger, and it's almost like I attract conflict because of it. I just want to know from your point of view. I know I'm not supposed to put think about those things, because obviously as you think about it, you make the whole process, the whole situation even bigger. But I just want to know your thoughts on it. That's all. Thank you.
Akbar, that's a fantastic question, and these kinds of situations happen in our lives all the time. The thing is, if you're afraid of conflict, then you will attract conflict. Fear will attract things that you're afraid of. So we were talking about this before you joined the meeting. I was talking about fear. Fear is an indication that you need to do something different. Fear, there's guidance in fear. So you've got to deal with the fear instead of letting it prevent you from doing the things that you want to do. You've got to ask the question, how can I get rid of the fear? So let me give you an example. I will give you an example, but tell me first, is there a situation that you're thinking about that I can help you with?
Yeah, I had when I was younger, I had a fear of my parents and family members, brother and sister, and the fear is there, but obviously as I got older, that situation hasn't. But like sometimes, when there's arguments or something, I can get defensive, and sometimes I go really silent and freeze. That's not, instead of like fight or flight, my nervous goes into freeze. Yeah. And it just goes into like then I don't know what to do. And nowadays I get blackouts that way. So yeah.
Okay. So do you expect arguments? Do you kind of have this feeling inside, oh, it's going to happen now?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to. I don't have it as much now, but there's like the past couple of weeks, there's always a situation now where it's a regular occurrence.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, why is that? And I'm trying to like, and I do, there is an avoidance in me. Like I avoid a conflict. I don't want a conflict, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. There's avoidance in me.
No.
I know that.
No, that's not a problem. That's just you protecting yourself. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Not at all. Remember this, fear of conflict will bring more conflict. So how can you get rid of the fear of conflict? What can you do, Akbar, to get rid of the fear of conflict?
I know you talked about moving the emotional scale, moving your position from it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of as of now.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So there are, yes, the objective is always to move up the emotional scale, but there are things that we do to make that movement possible. Okay?
Right.
Okay? So one of the things that we do in order to make that movement possible is to have at our disposal learn strategies to deal with conflict. If you're afraid of conflict, you need to have the ability, develop the skill to deal with conflict.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So is it a specific 1 or 2 or 3 people who create conflict, or is it the whole world, whoever you interact with?
It's been not just family members. It's been work situations as well, where there's been that situation.
So what do you think? What do you think causes conflict?
I mean, I'm obviously attracting it.
I know, but is it a difference of opinion? Is it because you don't do what you needed to do? What is the cause of the conflict?
Okay, sometimes it could be just a clash of their personality is different to mine, and
that's never the cause for a conflict.
Okay. It could just be the fact that
see, different personalities can coexist in harmony. So, what's the reason for the conflict? What do you think? So, when you say personality, what about a different person? What is your personality, you think? And what is the other person's personality that you have a clash with?
Okay, so I could be someone that's probably introverted, and the other person could be someone that's more outgoing, and I think there's a part of me that has I'm probably sensitive to things.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the reasons.
So, when you think a conflict is happening, how do you respond? You said you freeze?
Yeah, a lot of time I'm kind of...
okay, so what's a conflict? Someone says something that you don't like?
Okay, so for example, like there's an argument. Let's say I had an argument with my sister, for example, and it gets heated. Like I could have made a mistake, or she made a mistake, and I might have said, like, you know, why did you do that? And then it turns into a heated argument. That sort of stuff, yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what all it takes is the ability to be able to respond in a way that does not aggravate things. Conflict will happen because we are not the same people. Anthony on Facebook is saying that the political climate has caused much conflict and created a distance with his family because people are not going to think exactly like you. They are different from you. They will never have the same response as you. So you've got to have ways of handling people, and you've got to have a strategy for bringing a discussion to a stop when you feel that it's getting out of your control.
Right.
Because if you keep, so it's like a tennis match. A conflict is like a tennis match. Someone throws something at you, then you throw something back. Then they throw, then you hit back. Then they, and then you. It's a tennis match going back and forth. One person has to stop playing the game, leave the court. Then the match can't continue. And that is why we say that's the power of the apology. Instead of digging your heels in, The person who says, okay, I'm sorry, you think I did something to hurt you, I apologize, game over.
Right.
So you've got to know when to bring that to a stop. But you also have to have strategies to just be able to stop people from continuing a discussion that you don't want to be part of. And you've got to have confidence. Here's the thing. If you are low on the emotional scale and you cower and you behave like you're not sure, or they perceive that you're not sure, they'll come at you. So in a conflict, it is so important to back away with confidence. Don't take the other person on, but back away with confidence. Here's an example of how you do that. Someone says something you don't like. Instead of making a big deal out of it, they are just expressing their opinion. You say to them, I understand that that's how you see things, and I know that I see things differently, but I want you to hang on to your opinion. It's not my job to change your opinion. Let's just keep going. You do things your way. Not my job to tell you what to do.
Right.
Right? You've got to stop, but stop it with so much confidence that they don't counter. Okay? Once agree to disagree, kind of, sort of, but not belligerently. If your vibration is belligerent, if your vibration is angry, if your vibration is like, I'm going to bash your face in, they are going to read your vibration. And that's why you've got to come from a place of confidence, not belligerence, confidence. Hi Lana, good to see you. So you just need to have strategies, and you've got to know how far you can go. I once had neighbors sitting outside, and one of my neighbors said, we are going to a march. Can you join us? And they thought that because I teach all of this law of attraction stuff, that I'm going to join this march against something. I don't even remember what it was. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I don't do that kind of a thing. And instead of stand there and let them argue or try and convince me, I just walked away. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't do that kind of a thing. And I walked away. I made it clear that I'm not going to have a discussion where they try to convince me of their point of view. And it's really easy to do. You just have to feel confident doing it. Thank you for your opinion. I will take it under advisement. Or I will consider it, or I will think about it. And then leave. Don't get into an argument. Conflict, if you stay and you keep going because you want to convince the other person that you're right, that's when conflict happens, in the sense that it becomes an argument. Yes, Lana, you're right. Hello, good to see you here. Right? And this thing happens with a lot with politics and religion. That's why we say never have a discussion on politics or religion with people that you can't hold a conversation with. Don't have those conversations if you don't know how to handle them, because there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. So if you try to convince someone that you're right and they're wrong, it's never going to work, because there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. So you're going to be at it forever.
Mm.
And that's when it becomes a conflict. And look at the world where there's actual warfare happening. They're just trying to convince each other who's right. But there's no such thing. There's no right or wrong. Everybody's right. Because everybody has a right to their own opinion.
Right, okay.
Okay? Yeah. What a good question. Thank you so much for that, Akbar.
Oh, thank you for your answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tamika. Hi, Tamika.
Hi there. I don't have any questions. We're just eating dinner. I just wanted to listen in.
Ah, lovely. Awesome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't see any questions on Facebook. People on Facebook, if you have a question, pop it in the chat. Anthony's question is about the political climate causing conflict. And again, it's about knowing it's so good to know what you believe in terms of politics. And it's good to know what other people believe in. And if you just don't try and convince them, that's where it goes wrong. I know what I know, and that's for me. I have no need to convince you. You are most welcome. Keep your beliefs. Keep believing what you believe. Anthony says, even conversation with parents can be daunting concerning things like politics, which is why we barely speak these days. Anthony, any conversation, whether it's with your parents or anyone else in your life, will be difficult if you make it about what's right and what's wrong, and the other people, your parents want to convince you and you want to convince them. The thing to do is not to try and convince anyone. When they talk about their political beliefs, just listen. I know it's hard, but just listen. Just listen. You don't have to respond. Because a lot of times that's all people need. They want to be heard. People want someone to hear them out. So just hear them out. You don't have to respond. If you respond and you try to convince them to give up their beliefs, then you're creating conflict. And we don't have to do that. We don't ever have to do that. Just hear them out. And when they say something that you don't like or don't agree with, just dig in your heels and ball up your fists and hide them in your pockets and keep your mouth shut. See, then there will not be any conflict. The thing is to make your relationship more important than your opinion. Let me say that again. Make your relationship more important than your opinion. Let me say that again. Make your relationship more important than your opinion. Okay? When you make your opinion more important than your relationship, that's when you end up with friction in your relationship. Yes, Lena, it's not about winning the argument. Let that go. Let that go. It's not about winning the argument. So Anthony says, and I do listen with no conflict for weeks when we used to speak every day. Exactly. And that's it. And it's about what you say to yourself when you hear them say something that conflicts with what you believe and what you know to be true. What you say is they don't know what they're saying. But you don't say it to them. You say it to yourself. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand, and it's totally okay. They have a right to their own opinion, just like I have a right to mine. It is not my job to convince them. They have a right to evaluate the situation based on their own life experience, their perspective, and what they want. And it's totally okay. I'm totally okay with letting them have their opinion. Their opinion doesn't matter diddly squat. I'm going to be a duck. Let it roll off my feathers. I am not a sponge. Remind yourself that you are not a sponge. Because if you become a sponge, you generate negative emotion, and then that negative emotion brings you down the emotional scale. And then you hold on to it, so you stay down on the emotional scale. But if you become a duck, you're like, that didn't bother me at all. I couldn't care less what you think about this too shall pass. Exactly. Thank God we don't elect our leaders forever. Right? This too shall pass. Absolutely. And make the love in the relationship the main thing. Because you can state your opinion. You can share what you think, as long as you don't do it belligerently, as long as you come from a place of love. As long as you come from a place of not wanting them to change their opinion, then you're coming from a place of love, and it will never go wrong. And that's why we prioritize the relationship. My mother, I love you. And when you hug your mother, or your father for that matter, doesn't matter, truly feel love for them. And then tell them, I so disagree with you, but my disagreement is not going to change how much I love you. I love you, and I am glad that you feel so deeply about things, that you care so much. That makes me happy to know that you are a caring person. And we are not seeing things the same just now, but that doesn't mean anything in the context of the relationship, because I'm not going to stop being your son because you don't like who I like. Yeah, me too. I think this pen is awesome. Right? So make your relationships feel the love before you say something to them that you know is they're not going to like. Because at the end of the day, when you say it with love, the relationship stays strong. The only reason we are afraid of conflict, is because we feel that it's going to erode the foundation of our relationships. And we don't want that. We want our relationships to remain strong. And there is nothing there's no opinion that you cannot state, as long as you do it with absolute love. Prioritize the relationship, not the opinion. And prioritizing a relationship means always coming to it from a place of love. One of the things that goes wrong in parenting is that parents, when they try to discipline, they do it from a place of anger, not from a place of love. Parents can discipline children and tell them whatever they want, as long as they do it from a place of love. I love our love stories from my father's childhood, and I've seen him demonstrate this even when I was grown up. So my father was one of 11. 7 survived. And he was, I believe, the 3rd youngest, I think. 3rd or 4th youngest. Maybe he was in the middle. And we were overseas. My parents used to live overseas a lot, and we came back home to Pakistan. And my father, we went to visit my grandmother. And she was upset with him for something. So I remember I was about 10 years old. Now, Anthony, you have not met me, but I am not very tall. My grandmother was shorter than me. When I was 10, my grandmother was shorter than me. So this old lady got up, came to, we thought she's walking towards us to greet us. The whole family is gathered in this courtyard. Whole family is gathered because we are coming from overseas, and everyone's gathered to welcome us. So the whole family is gathered there, something like 20 people, all my cousins, aunts and uncles, everyone's over there. My grandmother comes closer, and when she is about, I want to say 2 yards away from my father, she bends over, takes off her slipper, and starts hitting my father with it. She was so mad at him, she had to hit him. And then, of course, she broke down crying, and he grabbed her and hugged her, and hugs and kisses and everything was okay. But in the night, when we went, so we were living in that house, we had a unit upstairs. We went upstairs at night. My mother said to my father, "Your mother insulted you. What are you going to do about it?" And my father taught me a lesson that night. He turned to my mother and he said, "She is my mother. She has a right to hit me. And by the way, she hit me because she loves me. She was upset with me, and that is why she hit me. And now the air is clear, and we're back to being strong." And I never ever forgot that, because in that moment, my father put the relationship before everything else. And that's what I learned from him. I learned from him that you preserve the relationship, and everything else is not important. So that's why I say, if we hold the relationship in the highest priority, and we always bring love into the equation, nothing can ever go wrong. And that's why Abraham says, whatever you're going to do, do it from here. From a place of love. And that is so true. So does that make sense? Guys, yes? Awesome. Right? All right. So, guys, the floor is open. If anyone has another question, go ahead. People on Facebook, you can put your questions in the chat. Anthony is saying, oh, what did I do? Oh no. I was put in a similar position last night with my husband Cameron last night, because he found out his grandmother, whom I'm also extremely close with, is declining very rapidly and may not have much time left. I didn't give the response he expected. I guess I suppress my feelings about death in the short term, as I haven't dealt with one in either our families in over near 20 years. See, the thing is, Anthony, it's not about giving people the response they want to see. That's not, if we did that, then we would be play acting through our life. And being authentic means not play acting. So, it's not about the appropriate response that you should have and how you should feel. It's about you supporting him with how he feels. And open communication means that you can always circle back around and explain your situation to the other person with the belief and the trust that they will hear you and understand. And Anthony, you and Cameron have been together for a while now. I mean, I've known you guys for I think 5-6 years now. And you were together before I met you. So you've been together for a while. And just like you understand him, trust that he also understands you. You gotta trust your spouse. You gotta trust the power of your relationship. You gotta trust that you've got each other's backs. And all you have to do is to make Cameron understand that you're a different person who behaves differently. That's all. I remember my conversation with you the last time, and I remember that we talked about how one of you was kinesthetic and the other one of you was visual, I think. So you have different styles of learning and communicating, right? I don't remember which one of you was kinesthetic, but that's the thing. If Cameron is the kinesthetic one, then you need to just give him a hug and it will be like nothing ever happened. And if he is the visual one, then he is looking for visual cues. Visual cues like facial expressions, change of tone of voice. He's the visual one. There you go. So he didn't see the expression on your face. He was looking for the expression. And he didn't see visible distress because he looks for visible cues. All you have to do is to remind him that you're not visual. You don't respond with visual cues. You're the kinesthetic one with tons going on inside. That's all. And as you guys practice communicating that way, yeah, Kathy, I see your comment. Sure, you can ask what's her name, Chantel.
Chantel can make the t-shirt, make your relationship more important than your opinions. Yes.
There you go. And you can definitely ask him to help you to deal with dying and death, which is an issue, something that is foreign to you because you don't know how to deal with it. It is an emotional thing. Not everyone knows how to deal with it. Anthony says, my mind races and races so much, I guess it's hard for me to give the visuals by facial expression. Yes, kinesthetic people have a lot going on inside them that they are not able to express in words or in their facial expressions. So for you, Anthony, the strategy is touch. You're kinesthetic. When conversations are happening, you got to express your emotion through touch, to hug, to hold, stroke the hand, stroke the back, because you are kinesthetic. But I'll tell you, that's how you express yourself best. And I will tell you that there is not a human being who does not understand the power of touch. So you don't have to express it with your facial expressions or your words. Express it the way you can express the best. And you can do that anytime. Okay? Awesome. All right, people on Zoom, do you have a question? No? All right. Melissa, Akbar, any questions? Follow-up comments?
No, I'm fine, thanks, Claire. Thank you.
Awesome. Melissa, anything coming up for you?
Nope, I'm good. I have to go feed a husband.
That's important. All right.
Yay. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to close the Zoom, but I'm going to stay on Facebook to talk to Anthony for a bit. All right?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
guys.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
So Anthony, then I cried 4 times after he brought it to my attention that I didn't give him the reaction he expected. So did you cry? Did you let him see you cry? Or did you hide your crying? Because you should not hide your crying. And you can't stand on your head in 10,000 ways. He saw. So he understands. Right? Do you feel that he still doesn't understand? And if you feel that he still doesn't understand, then all you have to do is to go to him and tell him, how can I make this right? Oh, sweetheart, love you so much. Love you so much. Let me tell you what's happening. Cameron doesn't know how to handle his own emotions on the health situation or deterioration that's going on with his grandmother. He doesn't know how to handle those emotions. Right? But I'll tell you what's going on with him. He also does not know how to handle his emotions. So he needs an outlet for them. And we all know this. Something happens at work or something happens while driving and we take it out on someone else. Right? So you've got to understand that it's not that he doesn't love you or doesn't care about you, doesn't understand you. It's just that he is also struggling with managing his own emotions. That's good. I'm glad that he gets it after the conversation you had. So if you think that he gets it, then why are you holding on to the pain? Stop doing that to yourself, my love. Don't hold on to that emotion. That's not helpful. You gotta let it go. And you gotta remember that your love is the anchor that keeps you both together. So you don't drift too far away. Exactly. So Anthony says, I watched my grandmother for 3 years every weekend when she had dementia, so I know the feelings he must feel. Exactly. That's all he needs. He needs your support. He needs to know that you've got his back, and you do. But in order for you to love him and stay rooted in the love that the two of you share, you've got to let this go. Because this, I call it tainted love, because it literally adds a dark spot to the sunshine that is your love. That's right. So if you're afraid of drifting apart, then you have to center the love. You've got to anchor yourself in the love. And remember this, Anthony. Where there's fear, there is no love. The vibration of love is missing when fear has center stage, because fear is down here and love is over here. So if you want Cameron to keep feeling the love that you actually hold in your heart for him, you've got to release the fear and go back up to a place of love and communicate with him, hold him from a place of love. Okay? That's it. That's all you need to do. You love, but we don't demonstrate love, and demonstration of love is through vibration. It's not through action. Demonstration of love is a vibration. And if you remember that, you will make your relationship very strong. So, love, fear gets in between relationships. Love never does. When we bring fear into a loving relationship, we are no longer pouring love into the relationship. We are pouring fear into the relationship. Don't do that. Don't do that. The strength of your relationship depends on you staying here, communicating from a place of love. Okay? Awesome. Awesome. Love you so much. Thank you for this question. I hope that the answer is helpful. Love you. And I'm glad that you guys joined the meeting, right? I didn't do the best job ever. I usually do a better job of communicating the meetings, but I forgot. Other stuff got in the way, but here we are. Whoever needed to be here came. All right, guys. Love you all lots. Take care. Bye for now.
Recording.
People are